Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Modern at the request of Patreon subscriber Troy. And I will thank you all for bearing with me. I'm on the tail end of a sniffle where I lost my voice. I took 2 days off recording. I think I'll be okay here, but if my voice is a little weak, if I don't do any shouting this time, then that's what's going on. We'll do our best to get through it. Troy asked me to play Fairies. He sent me a really kind of blocked off list of just 4 of a variety of fairies. It was like 4 Fairy Seer, 4 Spell Stutter, 4 Mistbind Clique, 4 Navuna, 4 Mistbind Clique, and some Bitter Blossoms. And I just think we can do better with the Fairy Shell there. I did a little research and found that Magic Online user Jay Randall had put up a bunch of trophies with fairies late last year. And I modeled off Jay Randall's list and incorporated some of the stuff that Troy wanted to do. First of all, Sleep Curse Fairy, super cool, 3/3 flying ward 2. It takes 3 turns for it to wake up and be able to attack and block, but this is a much more powerful card than Fairy Seer that we now have access to, thanks to Wilds of Eldraine. Troy's original list, Bitter Blossom was literally the only black card. It was a mono blue deck splashing Bitter Blossom, and I think that's not using the modern card pool to its full potential. We've got Fatal Push, Dismember, Drown in the Lock, Kaito Dancing Shadow, then a bunch of cool sideboard cards on the black splash as well now. Still playing 4 Spell Stutter, that is one of my favorite cards of all time. 4 Counterspell, love that. And I made room for some of the stuff that Troy wanted to do. We've got Mistbind Clique, Navuna, and Vendilion Clique all showing up in more responsible numbers. There's large numbers of a fragile legendary creature. You're just begging to lose to Bowmaster there, or just draw too many legends in a row and you can't cast them all. I think splitting the Mistbind Cliques 4 of with 2 Subtlety, which is just a powerful modern card, makes a lot of sense as well. We still have that cool fairy Time Walk endgame, but we can also interact more cheaply with a Primeval Titan if we need to. I also don't believe that decks need 4 Bitter Blossoms these days. In the old standard format where the best thing you could do was Thoughtseize Bitter Blossom, it made sense to play the max number of both of those, but there are matchups where you don't even want to play Bitter Blossom in Modern, like Burn. They'll just run over your fairies and you lose life for the pleasure. Or there's combo matchups where you can't afford to really tap out and play this card. So 3 of them feels like a good number. You won't flood out on those. And around all the fairy stuff, we just have a pretty cool little blue-black tempo deck. We've got 4 Preordains, a bunch of dress downs. This should slow down opponents, help us get out from under Urza Sagas, that sort of thing, slow down elementals. And in the mana base, we got Creeping Tar Pit and Mutavault that can bring the beats if we get to a stable board situation. I'm pretty excited to play this deck. This is the type of Magic I enjoy. Let's hope it holds up in Modern in 2024. This is Troy's Fairies. I'm on the play in round 1. I've got a little Island Preordained Keep situation. I am going to keep this. I have the option here to play Secluded Glen tapped and just wait on my Preordain, or get Preordain going. I don't have a fairy to reveal, but I'm going to need one eventually to play the game. I'll just start on Preordain. Brazen Borrower, Counterspell. These are both pretty good. I'm going to top this. I can reveal the Brazen Borrower to cast Counterspell next turn, if that is appropriate to do. Oh, sick. I love seeing a Saga when I have 2 dress downs in my hand. Hate seeing Amulet basically all the time. Okay, Secluded Glen, reveal Brazen Borrower. I can bounce this Amulet in the end step and then maybe try to fight over it. And if they try to do anything too aggro underneath, I have this double dress down. A Gruul Turf untaps, makes mana. I'm going to counter this for sure. That card's too good. No thanks. Mutavault and pass here. I have all 3 dress downs that I play, which is a powerful card in the matchup. However, if they resolve a Primeval Titan, I can't actually answer it. Or I guess they have Brazen Borrower. Alright, well, they're going to have 5 mana here, and no lands in play. And we'll see what they want to do with all that. The One Ring. Tilt. That's a pretty good follow-up, actually. That resolves. And they appear to just be passing from there. Now I have a choice. I can bounce this One Ring. Really wish I had another counterspell ready to go here. I could bounce Amulet. That's really easy to replay though, but so's the One Ring. Yeah, I don't really want them drawing 3 just for free here, so I'll let them draw their 1 and then have to spend a turn replaying that. Oh, baby. Give it to me. Let's play that same turn over again, except this time I have a counterspell. Here it comes. 4 mana, no lands. Shablamo. And if they have another ring next turn, they could just do that again. And I'm not actually moving forward very hard. Creeping Tar Pit, that can attack. I'm going to leave my mana open in case they come up with a Dryad of the Elysian Grove. I want to dress that down. We're just spamming rings again. I'm bummed about it. Please cast a Dryad. Explore, okay. This gives you 6 mana, which is bad for me because that casts Primeval Titan. If they have to Pact for Primeval Titan, I just win here, but nope, they don't. All right, well, I'm not really going to beat a 6/6, unfortunately, with what I have. Yeah, I need a bounce or removal spell. I don't even know if I play any relevant ones. We're going to hurt for a little bit here. I think it's safe to say. I can dress down to at least stop them from putting extra lands into play for a couple turns. What even is my out to a Resolve Primetime? I have one other Brazen Borrower. I could dismember it twice. Jesus. This is bad news, everybody. My Kingdom for a Doomblade. Arboreal Grazer. Well, I have to dress down to survive this turn anyway. Oh wait, I can Spell Stutter this one. And then dress down. Cool, I'm on board. Got him. I really need them to get too aggressive with a Pact of some kind and just catch them without any mana. That's how this game can still be won for me. Boseiju. Bummer. Alright, Creepy Tar Pit becomes an island. I guess Watery Grave's as good as anything. Dress down before combat because I have mana floating at the moment. And I might as well block while this thing doesn't have trample. The Spell Stutter's not going to win the game for me. Absorb 6 damage. Okay. Come on, deck. We're clinging to life. Yeah, the funny part here is that the Amulet part of the deck is secondary and largely under control compared to the here's a freaking 6/6, good luck, idiot, half of the deck. Lycosynth Gardens. Oh shit, I clicked on the wrong card. Damn it, I'm already like barely alive here. Dressed down. Oh god. I told you I was in bed the last 2 days sick, right? Oh wait, did I just win? Oh hell yeah. Block and then dismember this thing? And then, yeah, I totally put Spell Stutter into play on purpose to finish this off with a dismember. What do you mean? Was that a weird play? Things that happened on purpose include that. Okay, we're back in. Activate Mutavault. Play the other Mutavault. Begin the beats. I'm out of tricks here, though. If my Mutavaults and Brazen Borrower can't kill them before they present another Primeval Titan, I've lost. Brazen Bee, get in. And I know they still have that. Oh, sick. Stop in your draw step. Okay, so I can activate, and still Vendilion Clique. I guess I don't need to stop in their draw step. I can wait until they commit to floating a bunch of mana with their... Right, they Besiege'd one of my Mutavaults. Okay, so I can wait until they commit to floating a bunch of mana with their... but if they play the One Ring, that's really bad. Okay, I'm going to click them now in the draw step. Just show me a handful of blanks. No action, no love. A Primetime and a million lands. Okay, taking your Primetime. They have a Teleria West, but no blue mana to transmute it with. Oh, Crumbling Vestige. That was their draw. Okay, all I can do here is F6 and hope I don't lose. Oh, they can make another blue here. Oh yeah, they can filter, they can transmute this turn and then Primetime next turn. I mean, any counterspell's good. Spell Stutter gets it here. Kaito Dancing Shadow, wow, okay. Whenever one or more creatures you control deals combat damage to a player, you may return one of them to its owner's hand. If you do, you may activate Kaito abilities twice this turn. So I can 1, 2, 3, 4 bounce my Vendilion Clique, draw 2 cards, and click them again next turn. Oh baby, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have sat up straight in my chair from dejected to excited very quickly. I would like to return Vendilion Clique to my hand. And then I would like to draw a card. And I would like to draw a card. I'll play Secluded Glen, reveal the Vendilion Clique they've already seen. And now I can pass the turn. And I don't need to act now. I can let them stack some mana. That Kaito is an exciting draw. Wow. Okay, so this is where I have to do something. And I have to hope they don't have 2 Primeval Titans. Vendilion Clique. Target you. Take the Pact. Okay, there were just 4 lands in hand. Wow. I'm going to admit, I lost faith for a minute there, but holy smokes, that was awesome. Okay, Sheoldred's Edict can kill a prime time. Engineered Explosives can clear out amulets if we get into a spot like that again. Misstep counters amulets or packs. Annul counters amulets. I don't want to have that many ways to counter amulet. I don't think that's really how you beat amulet. Thoughtseize might be relevant. Force of Ceremonious Rejection hits. Oh, Annul and Rejection both hit amulet or ring. Those are both really important spells. Okay, like I said in the deck tech, I actually think that Bitter Blossom doesn't line up very well in many modern matchups, and this is one of them. Like a 1/1 every turn doesn't change much when your opponent is hurling lethal Valakut damage at you, or attacking with an 8/8 double strike. Fatal Push hits some of the cards in their deck, but I'm hoping to bring in different answers to those. All right, Annul also hits the Dryad. Yeah, this card's really good, actually. Scion of Una doesn't really matter. I mean, she can up the clock or protect a Mutavault from a Boseiju, like that kind of thing, but whatever. Mistbind Clique actually seems insane. That's the end game I'm looking for. Sleep Curse Fairy can chill for a while in play. I like that. It does get mopped up in my own Engineered Explosives. It's kind of embarrassing. Kaito was the hero we needed that game. Showed up right on time. The fun of Kaito. Snapcaster gives me more counter spells and more interaction. Yeah, I actually think I just kind of stop being a Tempo Fairy deck and become just a Dimir control deck in this matchup for as much as I can. Break the Ice can kill Urza's Saga and some of their other tech lands, but I don't know if I want that just in here. I mean, I could cut this last Sleep Curse Fairy and just bring in Break the Ice. Okay, I'm going to try this blue-black control deck that happens to have some fairies in it. This hand preordains on turn 1. And Amulet does tend to lead on Urza's Saga if they can. I'm going to try this. Lycosynth Gardens, Amulet of Vigor, yep. If you're new to the BoshNRoll channel, you're learning right now that my opponents literally always have turn 1 Amulet. When they're on Amulet, they never have to search for it, never have to pop an Urza's Saga, it's just there every time. I guess I do want both of these lands. Sucks that Tarpit comes into play tapped, but yeah, I'm just going to top and take both of these. I have Subtlety that can buy some time if I need to. Radiant Fountain. I mean, they've seen my Brazen Borrower. I don't think they could try to copy Amulet here. Yeah, I think it's more important to have the Brazen Borrower up, because if they try to copy Amulet, I can bounce it. All right. I mean, this feels like a time walk. Like, I'm not happy with this. It doesn't answer anything, but it does feel like it sets them back a turn in a big way. Yep, Amulet's back. 2 Mycosynth Gardens now. That's a lot of that. Secluded Glen with no fairy. I mean, Tarpit always comes into play tapped. So I'm going to lead on that one. I might still draw a fairy for the Secluded Glen in the future. We are approaching Hardcast Subtlety, which is pretty powerful. They do have 2 amulets, though. Can I draw Engineered Explosives? Played Boseiju as their land. Yeah, I just untap here. I did not draw fairy, but I did draw an untapped land. And I don't believe that breaking the ice does help here, because if I break the ice on the garden, it just becomes an amulet in response. I don't really care about Radiant Fountain existing. Now, if they go for it, I Subtlety. If they don't go for it, I Brazen Borrow. And we're just in the Tempo Fairy game plan. You know, Dimir Flash. Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle. This makes 3 red mana here, if they want it. Wow, didn't even float, just nothing going on over there. Brazen Bee, get in. Apply some pressure. Secluded Glen. Do I need to reveal my borrower here? Attack for 3. Secluded Glen, I will reveal Borrower. I don't know if that was necessary, but I guess if I bounce an amulet, play Borrower in the end step, it slows them down. Yeah, I do have 5 mana worth of stuff to do just with the Borrower I revealed. That makes sense. Here's a bunch of blue mana. Still not floating. End step, I'm going to bounce the... Do I want to bounce a copied one or the original one? Like, I don't know that I want to give them another land, but if I bounce the land version, then they have to put it back into play and copy again to get another amulet. Yeah, I'll bounce a land version. Otawara targeting Amulet of Vigor in response. Okay, so this is to fizzle my Brazen Borrower, or fizzle my Petty Theft so I don't get a Brazen Borrower. Makes sense. That's cool. I mean, if that's the game plan, I have my Amulet opponent on, though. I'm not even that upset about it. They just spent 4 mana to stop me from getting a 3-1. There's the Gardens back. Dryad of the Elysian Grove. I think I want to just subtlety this right now. They've made their land drop for the turn already, and this adds to my clock. They bottomed that, didn't actually want it. Ceremonious Rejection and Dress Down, good stuff here. And there is actually a card in their graveyard for the first time in the game. If they don't do anything this turn, I can play 2 Snapcasters and I have lethal. Just snap, snap, ambush viper, ambush viper. Do I want to drown this in the lock? Probably. Might as well. I could also Snapcaster and wake up Creeping Tar Pit, or I could just leave all this stuff up and get them dead in 2 turns while leaving up all my interaction. Yeah, I'm going to do it that way. Yeah, the Dress Down and the Rejection, and then like the surprise extra damage. All of this, I feel pretty good here, actually. They have 3 cards in their hand. Expedition Map. I don't think I care about that. Maybe I do. All right, I'm going to reject that. Sure. And then I can snap Rejection or Ring, so this isn't even like potential bait. Yeah, if this gets a tap land, that might be the thing they've been waiting for. We got the GGs in the chat. Wow, that game too was a textbook fairies game. Tempo fairies, just, counterspell if you cast a spell, add to the board if you don't. And game 1 was just kind of a miracle, triple Dress Down into the Dismember right when we needed it. But game 2 was a clinic. Let's go.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 2 with a turn 2 Bitter Blossom. I will keep this. Time to put this card to the test. There are matchups where it's bonkers, there's matchups where it's irrelevant, there's matchups that they could just remove it easily. I don't know, we'll see where we are. Opponent's on 7, just playing my land, and we'll see what they're up to. Xander's Lounge, okay. Oh, that's interesting. I'm unlikely to just attack with Mutavault next turn, so I will play the Darklick Shores. I'm glad I have Counterspell up now. Xander's Lounge is usually in decks that play Leyline Binding or Wrenn and 6. Wrenn and 6 versus Bitter Blossom is a very interesting meeting of worlds from the olden days and today. What you can get out of 2 mana. Okay, they're fetching for Stomping Ground. Tapped, okay. Looks like Bitter Blossom's just in. Okay, I would rather preordain here than add to my attacking force. Bottom Secluded Glen, top Dress Down. This might be creativity. We're getting a fetch here, and white mana. Am I going to counter it to Fairy this turn? Yes, indeed. Fairies cannot reasonably beat that card. That's another Clash of Generations. That is pretty distressing. We have so many creature lands that can pressure it, though, that it's actually pretty cool. And this Subtlety was a great draw, just on 4 mana, right where you want it. And Bitter Blossom is doing work here. I am consistently adding to my board while getting to leave up mana. This is the power of Bitter Blossom. Leyline Binding, okay. This can exile Bitter Blossom, but it's already kind of done its thing. I have pressure on the board. Spell Stutter, what's up? That's potent. I'm going to start with Preordain, and I can still double spell or subtlety as needed. I don't actually think I want any of these cards, though Sleep Curse Fairy is pretty sick. Yeah, I'm going to bottom all of this. I want higher impact stuff. I have so much mana that Sleep Curse Fairy would actually untap 1 turn from now rather than 3. But I don't really want to tap out versus the Leyline Binding deck either. Sick, they're out here lightning bolting fairy tokens. I don't think I want to spend my Spell Stutter Sprite on this, unfortunately. I can still Spell Stutter for 4 by activating the 2 Mutavaults. Okay, Renin 6. Spell Stutter that. Oh, sick. Yeah. Got him. Activate a Mutavault. They just spent a Leyline Binding on nothing. Boom. This deck is tricky, watch out. Oh, Scion of Una. Wow. Okay. The fun of Scion of Una has shown up. I think I still have to hold up Subtlety for this turn cycle, but I can flash in Scion if they have another removal spell. Renin 6. I can Subtlety this. Yeah, that sounds good. Like, Subtlety adds as much to the board as letting them minus and Scioning. And I have the Dismember up, so I'm not worried about a single dwarf token here. Oboro, okay. 4 flying, get in. And I believe I can win an attack through an Archon of Cruelty this turn with Dress Down. Like, I dress down the Archon, and then I have 3/3, 3/3, 2/2, 3/3. And if they don't even have a second dwarf here, we don't even have to worry about that. Yeah, that just whiffs. Cool. And I believe they are dead to this Scion. Sweet. That was a nice little fairy game. Opponent learned about Spellstutter Sprite plus Mutavault that game. Like Thoughtseize, Sheoldred's Edict, Engineered Explosives, Snapcaster. I mean, once again, we are playing against a combo deck, so the Tempo Fairy game plan becomes Tempo Dimir Control. It's slightly different, though. Like, we care about different things, but the plan is largely similar. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut a lot of the black removal and creature interaction, because my deck gets better at interacting with spells post-sideboard. The creature removal does matter because of how their deck works, how creativity works. I actually really like Sleep Curse Fairy. This seems like the type of thing that would quickly become a real threat if we're both looking at each other trying to jockey for position. Though, I mean, that's also an argument for Bitter Blossom. Is there a better cut than that? Mistbind Clique seems bonkers in this matchup. No, I am gonna cut a Bitter Blossom and enjoy Sleep Curse Fairy. I think they're both good. I'm just out of stuff I want to cut. I will keep this hand. It's got some nice interaction in it. Opponent on the Maul to 5. That's the perfect time to Thoughtseize somebody. This deck can play Veil of Summer. Oh, that's cool. Sleep Curse Fairy. If they resolve a Renin 6 here, good job, but at least I could Thoughtseize them without getting veiled. And the clock is on. I love revealing the fairy that you're about to play, and then playing that fairy. It's like they didn't get any info at all, just straight up Underground Sea in my deck. Okay, no Renin 6. My fairy goes down 1 counter. I think I have to Thoughtseize here. If they have veil, they have veil, whatever. But poking a 4-card hand seems pretty good. And they'll have to fetch shock to do it. And they might spell Pierce instead. That would be so much better for me. Okay. Just grab Jetmir's Garden. Prismatic Ending that can beat the ward next turn. Reprieve that should be able to play around. I think I just stripped the creativity here. And Preordain. 2 lands. I want the Watery Grave. I don't want the island. Okay. Now we'll see if they want to shock in and remove the fairy while the coast is clear. Do they want to save this ending for something else? Do they know how ward works? Oh, that's awkward. Womp womp. Well, that's gone. And then they shocked in the Sacred Foundry anyway. Tough crowd. I'm going to play Watery Grave, tapped, and pass the turn. And now I'm in that spot that I was talking about where the Sleep Cursed Fairy can just smush while I hold up interaction. And I'm going to activate Fairy in the end step to untap it for real this turn. This removes the last counter. which means it untaps now. And now I have a wall of interaction up versus their 2 cards in hand in their combo deck. And they're at 13 life somehow. This is my first attack of the game. 12 life. Okay, they got a dwarf. They have 2 dwarves. Okay. I can cast Counterspell twice, so even if the last card in their hand is creativity, it doesn't matter. Alright, I actually would like to counter this. Then they reprieve, then I counter it again. Yeah, that's fine. Because they don't have enough mana to creativity if they reprieve here. Yeah. Then end of turn, I want them to sacrifice a creature token. Just whittle these down. I know I'm going to have to double spell to beat the reprieve anyway. Might as well just start casting them. 1 down. It's really hard to reprieve a Dismember. That card costs 1. Attack for 3. They're on a 3-turn clock, and my hand has 3 answers in it. Oh, they have the creativity. I have the Dismember. I know their only card in hand, which means I can do this without losing any life. Now they have to fully rebuild a creature and a way to target it before they can send another combo at me. And I can cast Mistbind Clique right now, target myself, and decline. This just puts lethal on board when I know their hand doesn't interact with it and their hand can't combo from its current spot. And if they draw like Ren at 6 and kill Mistbind Clique, that would be annoying, but yeah, okay, cool. Another clean little fairy dismantling of a combo deck. On to the next round. We're still undefeated.
If you're looking to run a CEDH or 1v1 tournament, Eminence Gaming has your back with Command Tower. With Command Tower's intuitive tournament manager dashboard, you can handle decklist submission and player management with just a few clicks. Players just need to scan the event's QR code for access to the full tournament bracket, including seamless pairings and real-time standing updates. Take the guesswork out of tournament organizing. Try Command Tower for your next event.
I'm on the draw for round 3, and checking some levels between rounds, I realized how pitiful I actually sound. I promise I don't feel as bad as I sound. I'm keeping this hand. I really wish this land was untapped, but I think this has enough upside to get stuff going. Sick. Always had it. Sleep Curse Fairy, get in there. Start causing trouble. Ward 2 on a 1-drop is pretty messed up. Okay, they have a Zagoth Triome, and they pass the turn. Ooh, another Darkslick Shores. I could shove Bitter Blossom here, or I could get my tap land in and another fairy. I think I'm going to go tap land, second fairy. This is pretty spooky, honestly. If I were the opponent, I mean, I don't know what's in their deck, or they might just Supreme Verdict me or something, but I would not want to play against this start, honestly. Delighted Halfling. All right, that card's really good against the counterspell that I was counting on. Ooh, not anymore. Got him. Fatal Push this Delighted Halfling. Hold up counterspell past the turn. Yeah, counterspell's better than Bitter Blossom here. I don't know what they're planning. They did miss their land drop last turn, though, which is pretty nice for me. Okay, 1 fairy. Oh, I could have spent my mana in the end step. Whoops. All right. Little loosey-goosey there. One of these could be attacking this turn, or they could both wake up next turn. I'll remember to do that this turn if I don't have to counterspell. Yeah, I'm not going to protect Bitter Blossom with my counterspell. Opponent is like narrowly clinging to life, missing land drops over there. End step, activate the one that is still sleeping. Ooh, Solitude, look at you. All right, yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You can pay the ward 2 here. All right, fair enough. I still bring my beats this turn. Island, Preordain, Brazen Borrower, Dress Down. I don't think I want Dress Down. Brazen Borrower is not the worst card. I could bounce Leyline Binding, counter it on the way back down. I think I want to just start testing them in their end step. Petty Theft, the Binding. I'll counterspell that this time. I just want to kind of push a little harder than I normally would because I see my opponent stumbling. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I can attack with Mutavault this turn, but not Creeping Tar Pit if I want to play my Borrower, which I do. Yeah, they are, I think, dead on board here. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, they're dead on board right now if they don't figure it out pretty quick. Prismatic Ending on the Bitter Blossom. That is not affecting the clock. You got it. Yeah, they got to Solitude me here to be alive again. All right, yeah. I mean, opponent just missed land drops and didn't play the game, but tempo decks are built to punish that. I think I like Thoughtseize here. Scion of Una actually seems great. They were pretty worried about Bitter Blossom. The Sleep Curse Fairy double start was nuts. They're a deck with Delighted Halfling and Omnath. I want Fatal Push. I'm not going to do like a lot of sideboarding here. I don't think there's a lot to be done. Maybe Sheoldred's Edict. You can shave a Lordan Revealed, and Dress Down is like okay against some elementals and stuff, but it's not really for this. Yeah, I like these changes. Another fairy start. Keep. Though I do need to respect that this deck can play a turn 2 uncounterable to Fairy Time Reveler. Like that's a line that they clearly have access to. Curse. Well, there's this jerk. Alright, can I draw the black removal spell again? Nope. Do I think Spellstutter Sprite is going to be useful this turn? I guess anything's possible. Basically, the choice was, do I preordain or hold up Spellstutter? Like, if they have a second halfling, Spellstutter's pretty good. I could Subtlety this. I could just play Spellstutter under it. Like, playing Spellstutter under it makes it so, like, if they bounce Spellstutter, Teferi's at 1, so they can't just plus Teferi and hide behind that forever. I have added to the board meaningfully. Like, if they bounce Spellstutter now, I can kill Teferi with Mutavault. And they did go for that after playing an island. Okay, Otawara. Activate Mutavault. Attack Teferi. And then I'm going to cast Preordain. Ooh, alright, I could Subtlety. Oh, no, I can't Subtlety this. Yep, that works. They got me with the Stone Rain at the cost of a Leyline Binding from their hand. Alright, Preordain, Bitter Blossom, Spellstutter. These cards are not helpful here. Okay, Sleep Curse Fairy can attack Teferi next turn. Like, I don't have to untap it. In my untap step, you could just activate this ability in your main phase. Another Sleep Curse Fairy. And I think this is my best plan, even if they just, like, cast Solitude here and I die. I guess they can't cast Solitude here. They could Leyline Bind. Yep. Ward trigger that they can easily pay. And then another fairy. The deck's so much worse with Teferi in play. They are down to 1 card in hand, though. Plus Teferi. Darksclick Shores. I'm just going to Vendilion Clique in the main. I want to see what's in their hand. Show me your secrets. Leyline Binding is one of your secrets. Going after the Sleep Curse Fairy again. Red and 6. Yeah, let's get rid of that because it kills my Vendilion Clique. That removes all the information I had about their hand. Really hope to just see a land there and let them keep it, but they have 2 fresh cards now. For as far behind as we actually feel here, if this Teferi dies, we're just back in the driver's seat immediately. Attack Teferi for 5. Prismatic Ending, yep, that works because of Teferi. And they're eating their halfling, that's cool. I will main phase a Spellstutter, just keep the pressure on this Planeswalker, it's the only thing they got going on right now. Teferi's down to 1, I have 2 creature lands that can attack it, one of them's unblockable. They did find this turn to unload on an Omnath. This was the time to do it, good job. Okay, 1, 2, 3, Tarp it, attack Teferi. Okay, Teferi's dead. Now we are behind an Omnath though, so hard mode activated. Ren and 6, I don't think I can afford to care about this. It pops off Omnath every turn, but with 2 cards in their hand, I have to spend my counterspells on the actual payoffs. Omnath in for 4. Bitter Blossom. If I attack Ren and 6 for 2 here, that holds up Counterspell and lets me play Bitter Blossom while pressuring the Ren so it dies next turn. Bitter Blossom is a fairy for Spellstutter considerations. Starting next turn, I can have Omnath in the force field. Fetch to basic planes. They might want to go just full damage mode on Omnath here. Yeah, they do. Okay. Good call. Let's reduce my life total under this Bitter Blossom. Make it a liability. Lighted Halfling sucks ass, but okay. They're attacking me for 4. I go to 8. And now I gotta finish off Ren and 6, clear Omnath, and then kill them quickly. Activate Creeping Tar Pit, kill Ren, 2 cards in their hand, counterspell the Solitude. Their last card's Veil of Summer. I hate my life. Alright, Subtlety pitching Spellstutter. Gotta get rid of the Solitude, at least temporarily. But I have definitely lost this game. Alright, we could stop. We could stop. I probably should have shown them the Subtlety. Yeah, I mean, for as bad as that felt basically the whole time, it was closer than it seemed. Like if they waited one turn to find Omnath, that would have been fine. A Fatal Push, Dismember, Children's Edict, all those things are in. Force of Negation is more things to fight against Teferi with. Dress Down is so... It like has relevant text, but also doesn't matter at the same time. Alright, I think I'm going to have to trust my deck to deal with Teferi. I don't want Force of Negation against the mostly creature deck. Keep. I'm going to Secluded Glen, revealing Bitter Blossom to Preordain. We'll save the 2 life. Bottom Tar Pit, top Dismember. I'll have to kill an Omnath eventually. Delighted Halfling. Alright, well, I might have to kill that. Ooh. Mistbind Clique, first appearance. Yeah, I'm going to Dismember the Halfling and tap out to do it. Save 2 life there. They have another one with different art, just to annoy me. Preordain. Let's see if I can find a removal spell. Scion and Spell Stutter. These, I don't think are helping me anymore. Bottom, Fatal Push. Oh, Drown in the Lock. Yeah, that works. All right. Watery Grave. Really trying to screw them here because I don't think I can beat them fair. They could just still cast a fairy right now. Yep. That sucks. All right. Mutavault. Dress Down. Just trying to cantrip here. See more cards. There's Subtlety right after the Teferi resolves. And double Halfling with some shit. I was so ready. Bounce my Blossom. Alright, well, I'll attack with Mutavault. They're going to answer this. I hope it costs 2 cards. Yep, Solitude, pitching, Prismatic Ending, sure. Spend 2 cards on that. I have another Mutavault for next turn. And creature lands are busted. Your spells just... on the resources to cast your spells also just attack. It's so sick. They have reached 5 mana, which means they can just hard cast Solitude now. Well, let's hope they don't have it, because that would suck. Oh yeah, just crack that fetch. Double Halfling, double Solitude, just all the most important cards. And the Teferi. 1 Halfling, 1 Solitude, no Teferi. Any of these variables make this game fine, but instead we are just getting obliterated. Play out Spell Stutter, gotta pressure the Teferi. Mistbind Clique, pretty embarrassing, with Teferi in play as well. Prismatic Ending, okay. There goes my engine. Try to put 2 damage on Teferi here. Okay, Teferi went down to 2. I think I'm just going to cast Subtlety now, and I think Mistbind Clique's a bigger surprise if I can clear Teferi next turn. Like, if I get left with 1 4-drop with Flash left in my hand at the end of this, I think I'd rather have Mistbind. Okay, they are attacking, offering the trade, which I'm going to choose to read as they're trying to protect Teferi with that. Shocked and Hallowed Fountain. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. Everything at Teferi. Supreme Verdict at instant speed. Jesus. All right, sure. Bitter Blossom, save me. Okay, we're kind of back to stability. Teferi's still an asshole, but Bitter Blossom. Oh no, stop. I thought we were playing Magic, but we're not. Ooh, okay. Petty Theft Teferi, I guess. And then play Brazen Borrower. I guess I could play it on their turn in response to Teferi. I wish there was a more clever way to do that, but there's not. Okay, Brazen Borrower, back on the stack. Teferi, bounce Brazen Borrower. Or they just play Ren and 6 and kill it. That would be so distressing. Oh, they minused on nothing. I hate that. Oh, Lightning Bolt, sure. At least it wasn't Ren and 6. Dress Down, I mean, I'll take it to draw a card. Fatal Push, not helpful. And there's the One Ring. Okay, I think I'm about ready to concede this game. I'll take another draw step and then probably pack it. Yeah, okay, we're good here. Teferi is crushing. Delighted Halfling is really crushing. This, if they don't get set up with a turn 1 Halfling, you can sort of keep them off balance in the way that we want to. But if they get to like, the problem with Halfling is that if you spend answers on it, then you're tapped out when they cast Teferi. And if you don't spend answers on it, Teferi's uncounterable anyway. And they just get you going both ways. So you just kind of have to hope they don't have a Halfling, or they don't have a Teferi, or they don't have double Solitude once all those other things happen. That was, although the final board state looks like we got crushed, there were a couple spots where that could have broke our way pretty easily. On to the next round.
The official BoshNRoll Island Ponder Keep shirt is available exclusively through Coalesce Apparel. This Magic player-owned business is a staple of our community. They keep this channel on the air, and it's my pleasure to partner with them for this product. Coalesce is the best Magic apparel on the market. They have awesome new designs coming out all the time. Use code BoshNRoll to get 10% off your order only at coalesceapparel.shop.
On the play for round 4, and I have Blue Source Preordained Keep. If there is a land in the top 4 cards of my deck, I'm shoving turn 2 Bitter Blossom. If not, I'm looking at another 3 cards next turn, and then I'll figure it out from there. Preordain. I'm just going to bottom everything that's not a land, which is all of these, and Drown in the Loch. Come on, deck, don't fail me now. Misty Rainforest pass from the opponent, and deck's a wise guy, but I do appreciate the land all the same. Tar Pit, Preordain. Counterspell Island. I am happy with both of these cards, top. Misty Rainforest fetching Steam Vents. I smell some rhinos, and they don't smell good. They rarely do. Okay, not rhinos. I take it back. This is just Murktide. They bottomed and then played a land, okay? Alright, well, let's see how they feel about Bitter Blossom. Unfortunately, if it is Murktide, Spell Pierce is a card they play. Bummer. Okay, we're interacting though. We're getting cards out of their hand. We're doing stuff. They can dismember a Ragavan. Is this small enough? Yeah, it is. Cool. Alright. An aggressive push that is not going to pay off. Alright, come on, land for Kaito on an empty board. Land for Kaito on an empty board. Damn it. That was so close to being awesome. Okay. The window was wide open to do some sick shit there, but unfortunately, it closed again. I think I just run a Spell Stutter out here to get something on the board. Oh no, if they Habitat for Subtlety, that's actually a huge beating. Bummer. That was a huge punish. I would have been fine with a Bolt or a Counterspell or anything, but that one sucks. Okay, I have a land now. What does this do? Kaito, target creature can't attack or block until my next turn. How about that? How about the Subtlety? So for 2 Tempo-y control decks, we have certainly played this game in a way that we're both just slamming 4-drops into tapped out mana. Preordain. And I think I'm ahead right now, but that can change quickly. They play Unholy Heat. They play Lightning Bolt. Unholy Heat. There's one of them. They top bottom the Preordain. They could dash Rag to finish this off. All right. Well, I mean, it was a 2-for-1, but it was a big 2-for-1 in a spot where I'd rather just have all my cards. I'm gonna kill Subtlety while I can. And now I'm holding up Counterspell, and this pretty awkward Mistbind Clique, actually. If this game reaches a spot where I have a fairy or 2 and I can Mistbind, that's really exciting. I have low faith in this Counterspell working. I had to tap into Spell Pierce to do it. Alright, they had actual Counterspell. I don't feel so bad. But this thing's going to be really hard to kill. Ooh, Sleep Curse Fairy. I mean, that is one that I can flip. Is that even worth doing, though? Alright, I'm going to Mistbind here. Let's just do it. Alright, tap you out. We've Mistbinded someone. Unfortunately, we are behind on board in a spot where it doesn't matter, but it did happen. And it actually is not irrelevant. I'm still not winning the race. Am I 7, you go to 9, then I go to 4, then you go to 2, then I lose. Yeah. I'm not winning the race here. I could add Subtlety to the board and double block the Murktide. That gets blown out by Lightning Bolt. Well, here's my card. Gotta stabilize against this Murktide somehow. And if I got a double block, I got a double block. I don't like my position though. Yeah, I've actually been really missing just straight up Doomblade throughout this entire league. Like, just turn one of the 3 Fatal Pushes into a Doomblade, and suddenly Murktide Regent, Primeval Titan, like, we just get a lot better against all those cards. Alright, if we're both staring at each other, Creeping Tar Pit's going in. Creature lands, still busted. Creature lands, dead. Okay, back to looking at each other. They're up 2 cards on me, but I'm ahead on board. If they attack in, I get to keep a creature and they don't. Alright, I mean, that stops Lightning Bolt blowouts from occurring. Wish I had drawn that last turn to protect my Tar Pit, but here we are. They're just playing out another land. If they draw another Murktide, their first one becomes 8/8, and then I'm not winning the combat anymore. I've already answered 1 though, right? Yeah, 1's dead. Mishra's Bauble. I don't think I Spell Stutter that. There's Ragavan's, DRC's, Lightning Bolts in this deck that I should probably be more worried about. Though them finding another Murktide's really bad too. If they're drawing for Bauble. I drew Brazen Borrower that they knew about. Interesting. Okay. Well, I can Petty Theft this, and I can Spell Stutter a Counterspell. Wow, that just worked. Let's party. Okay, in for 7 all of a sudden. And opponent's at 8. If they replay Murktide, it's only 5/5. Dashing Ragavan. Spell Stutter that. Ooh, Stern Scolding. Brutal. Alright, well, Ragavan's going to connect. I'm out of stuff to do here. I hope it doesn't take anything too good. It took Darkslick Shores. Yeah, that's fine. Did me a favor, really. Murktide's back as a 7/7. And we're both at 8. That was a dynamic turn. Okay, they tapped big mana for the Murktide. Oh, it's only a 6/6, not a 7. I miscounted that. But they tapped big mana to leave some stuff in the graveyard for Delirium. Oh, wowie. Load me up, daddy. Don't Spell Pierce me off that treasure. I'll lose my mind. I'll quit Magic. Sick. All right, we're in there. Creeping Tar Pit presents a problem for them next turn. Fatal Push answers the Ragavan. I'm really glad they didn't hit that off the Ragavan. That one of Lorien revealed. Just never cycled it, boarded it out a lot. Showed up right when I needed a handful of cards. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Okay. 3 cards in hand. One of them's Rag. There's Rag. Right, they're going to attack with DRC, or with Murktide and Rag. I'm going to push Rag before blocks and just know if I need to interact with this thing or not. Okay, that's gone. And then I can double block Murktide, clear that out. And I either get to keep my Mistbind Clique or I keep Subtlety and Sleep Fairy. Or they had the bolt the whole time. Sure, that works too. Okay, I have Sleep Fairy and nothing else. I suspect they drew that bolt recently. I mean, DRC, I think, would have been in play if they drew it last turn. So maybe they were hiding that for one turn. Rag's gone. I am dead on board now. Not anymore. Sick. Fatal Push showing up when I need it. I'm going to push this Channeler right now before they draw for turn. And then 1, 2, 3. I can attack for 9 next turn if I just chill for now. I think I should cast Brazen Borrower, though. This gives them fewer chances to draw a counterspell. That's annoying. Now I have to chump the Murktide, and still they get a flip with Rag. Oh, I'm just dead. All right. Well, good job. Okay. That was an exciting game. Hard to believe that was game 1. I feel like we've been playing for hours. Minor Misstep is good. Sheoldred's Edict is good. Engineered Explosives I like. Snapcaster I like. Dress Down doesn't really do anything for this matchup. I actually like Bitter Blossom here a lot. Dismember's fine. Subtlety's fine. Mistbind Clique is smaller than Murktide Regent, which kind of gives it a big negative. Lorien Revealed was good in that one spot, but I still think it's not really where I want to be here. Yeah, I'm out on Mistbind Clique. I mean, it attacks Ragavans and DRCs pretty well, but getting the infrastructure underneath it so you actually have a fairy to champion isn't really easy against the Lightning Bolt under Unholy Heat deck. I'm making a last-minute switch. I'm bringing one Mistbind back in and cutting a Vendilion Clique. I think V-Clique is just not resilient enough on stats, and its ability is not important enough. A 4/4 actually does brick up everything that's not a Murktide in this deck, so I'm back on one Mistbind. Okay, I will keep my hand, and I'm just gonna Island Go. I've got this Minor Misstep to start messing with Ragavans and DRCs if they show up early. I just don't want to have to play from behind in a Tempo Mirror. Opponent's on 6, that helps. Pass the turn. Please shove a Ragavan. Shocked in Esteem Vents. Preordain. I'm not going to counter that. They top-bottomed. I'm just going to play Tar Pit this turn. Get a tap land in while I can still do something. If they have like Rag plus Spell Pierce here, that's fine. But next turn I can Spell Stutter with Minor Misstep protection. If they just draw go again. Play the Island and pass. Maybe I'm supposed to reveal Spell Stutter. Give them a false sense of confidence in their Lightning Bolts. Okay, I will draw for turn. They're just playing draw go over there, that's fine. Seclude again. Glenn, reveal the Spell Stutter. Cast Preordain. Drown on the lock Spell Stutter. I'm gonna bottom Spell Stutter, top Drown. I just really like to... I want to hit more lands, and I like both of those cards, but they're not lands. And now I can counter a Blood Moon if they fetch, which is important because my deck does not have a basic swamp in it. I'm a mono blue deck if they Blood Moon me. It messes up all my creature lands and everything. Ledger Shredder. Oh, I can dismember that. Dismember Ledger Shredder. That's gone. Cool. Did not draw the land, so we're chilling here. If they're hitting land drops and I'm not, I feel like I'm falling behind. I have access to Snap Dismember now. I have Spell Stutter that they know about, Subtlety, and Drown that they don't. Another Spell Stutter now. Okay. I'm probably just going to play a Spell Stutter in their end step at this point. A Spell Stutter. If they Subtlety, I can drown a Subtlety. They just let me have this, I'll start poking. Cool. Alright, Mutavault. That's a land and a fairy. And 5 mana is an important number because it lets me interact 3 times in a turn instead of twice. And now we're pushing damage. They fetched a basic. Is it Blood Moon time? It's Murktide time. Well, Subtlety is my best thing to point at this. So that's what I'll do. I could have pitched it to really protect it. Maybe I'm supposed to pitch it there. I still have Snap Dismember, which kills this Murktide. Okay, Snapcaster, Dismember. I'll pay the full life here to leave up interaction. Get rid of that, please. If they have Flusterstorm, that sucks ass. I can pay for a Spell Pierce, which will tap me out for a turn. And I think I'm going to just hold back Spell Stutter. I don't want to let them start connecting with Ragavans here, if that's what they were maneuvering towards. I think I'm ahead here, but it's not by much. And they did just earn a spot to slam a Blood Moon if they have it. Blood Moon is good against fairies, by the way. That was true in Standard, and it's true now. You might be confused by their high basic land count, but it's all islands. They have a ton of, the creature lands matter a lot. They usually don't have a black source at all. Expressive Iteration is what's happening. Dragon's Rage Channeler is here. Looks like so is Murktide, maybe. Yep, another 6/6 Murktide. I just used everything I could to deal with the first one. Settle down. Time to draw Doomblade. Oh, wait. That's not in the deck. Okay, Darkslick Shores. Explosives for 1. I'm just going to put that into play. And all I can do here is pass. Murktide's really big. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, I think maybe I was supposed to pitch cast that first Subtlety, and then I would still have Snap Dismember available. Yeah, I'm just taking 6 here. I'm not happy about it, but what am I supposed to do? I'm unlikely to die to Bolt because I have 3 ways to counter that in my hand. Gonna have to start blocking next turn, though. This is my life total. I think to win this game, I'm gonna have to put these creature lands to work and chump block, smash, and step. Blow the explosives, get the DRC out of here. Sleep Curse Fairy, not super helpful. Okay, so Spell Stutter, Drown in the Lock, leaves me room to attack with Mutavault, and only Mutavault. Attack for 4 here. They go to 10. I could play Sleep Curse Fairy and have 2 counter spells up, or I could not play Sleep Curse Fairy and only have 3. I feel like I need 3 counter spells to be alive here. If I chump, go in for 4. Oh, Otawara, Jesus. Well, I did not plan for that one. That sucks. That messes up my combat a little bit, does it though? Ledger Shredder. I'm gonna Spell Stutter that. They said that was bad in the chat. Okay, I hope so. I hope. Oh, yeah, they said they wanted to attack first. Yep, true. I would have had to have been down a fairy. Yeah, these long, grindy, tempo-y, control-y mirrors, they grind on you, and really, a lot of times it comes down to just one mistake like that. That could flip who has what in play at the end of the party. I'm going to Drown in the Lock this Expressive Iteration. I just don't want them to do anything, because my plan only barely works, and them having a million extra cards makes it work even less. Okay, block there. Now, I mean, if their hand is nothing, I do actually win this game. I can attack for 5 this turn, chump block, then attack for 5 on the next turn. Misstep the Ragavan. Okay, here we go. Counterspell? Oh, yes. All right, I'm going to play the Mutavault they know about. 1, 2, 3. Activate Tar Pit. Attack for 5. And mean, I'm not really playing around anything here, so Sleep Curse Fairy come into play and pass. If they try to remove Spell Stutter before combat, I can Spell Stutter that removal spell. If they attack first, wow, that was huge. Okay, all right. This match continues to be awesome. This is the best Magic there is. I can see an argument for Thoughtseize. Just find a spot to poke a hole. It's another answer to Murktide. Like before I have to deal with it in play where it's a huge problem. What am I going to cut for it, though? I don't think I want to do this. Let's go. All right, I mean, my hand's pretty aggressive, but I'm on the draw for the first time. So if they just, like, turn one rag... Or not off that island, they won't. Okay, good. That's great. That's just one turn of breathing room that could be the difference. They bottomed both off the Preordain, bobbled me, and I get to do my favorite thing, Secluded Glen, reveal a fairy, immediately play that fairy, no information gained. They did see that Sign of Una off of Bauble, which is actually a really big one-of for them to be aware of. Scalding Tarn, fetching. Yeah, zapping in one of their one-drops now is pretty potent when I'm not right before I'm available to spell stutter it. And it's Ragavan too, no free lunch around here. Yeah, Ragavan's so good in these tempo mirrors. It would be great if they like preordain pre-combat here and give me something to counter with spell stutter in addition to blocking Rag. Oh, hell yeah. And we've seen Stern Scolding in the deck, but I'm going to flash in this spell stutter anyway this turn, so like might as well try to get a counter off of it. Yep. No love. Rag's going to connect now. Took minor misstep. Luckily, I've already cast my spell for the turn. That one of Mistbind Clique is in my hand, though. This could be the type of game where it's a big hitter. They just milled away a counterspell. That's terrifying. Scion of Una does come into play here. All right, I'm going to play Scion right now. She only gives other fairies Shroud, not herself, but I'll trade her with Ragavan. I don't mind. Yeah, Cast in the Fire. That's a good one. And they flipped to Preordain. That's actually just a good card they can cast whenever they want. And Ragavan's already good enough. When it's deal damage, get a mana. But when it's deal damage, draw a card, get a mana. It's so stupid. Okay, Minor Misstep is in my hand. I'm going to play Watergrave tapped. And I am going to try to eat Ragavan with Sleep Curse Fairy this turn. Go to 10 and then stabilize from there. Fingers crossed. They have 5 cards in their hand. What could go wrong? Expressive Iteration. That's a good one. Flipped another Dragon's Rage Channeler. I'm going to minor misstep that because at this point they would need a land to beat the ward anyway. And if they counter this, then Ragavan's frozen. Okay, that worked. Don't play a land before combat, please. Bauble. All right, now don't understand how Sleep Curse Fairy works. Just attack with Rag. Let me eat it. I'm at the point of the game where I have to hope my opponent makes a mistake. Nope. They know how this works. So I don't want to trade with this thing. I'm more worried about Ragavan. Kaito Dancing Shadow. What are the chances that resolves? 0? Literally 0? Alright, I'm going to play Watery Grave tapped and try to slow the game down for a little while. And if I attack, actually, I can still do the untap thing and hold up Counterspell. Yeah, I mean, attacking here is basically free. I'm not going to cast Mistbind Clique. All right, now Ragavan's attacking, which means they have a removal spell that they didn't have last turn. They have to removal spell, pay ward, and get through Counterspell, which I imagine their 4-card hand is capable of. Always let the ward trigger resolve first. I'll let you surveil first, too. Counter the bolt. I imagine they can counter this Counterspell just fine, yep. And I'm going to end up at 5 at the end of this exchange. Ragavan hit a Sleep Curse Fairy. Yeah, I mean, that's good in their deck. They have plenty of mana to untap it, too. Oh, Children's Edict. You're way too late. This was a really great match. We came up a little too short. Ragavan just a serious beater. As far as the list goes, I was talking about a Doomblade. I mean, Fatal Push is clearly here in high numbers due to something like Ragavan. Like, that same game where we just answer Ragavan on curve, I think is much more competitive. But also, there's just not a good answer to Murktide in this list anywhere. other than the two Brazen Borrowers. So I think this deck needs a Doomblade somewhere. On to the final round.
We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league.
I'm on the play in the final round. Positive record on the line. This hand seems excellent. I'm going to keep it. I can Darkslick Shore's Preordain or just get Creeping Tar Pit in when I think it's probably most free to do so. I could also Darkslick Shore's Pass just in case they are an aggressive deck like Burn or some Ragavan pile. Because if I can clear their 1-drop and then stick Bitter Blossom on turn 2, yeah, I think I'm actually going to Darkslick Shore's Pass. That gives me the most comfort going into turn 2 to jam a Bitter Blossom. Opponent mulled to 5. I don't know what to make of that. But I will pass with my Darkslick Shores up. Etria Triumph, okay. Spellstutter Sprite, Secluded Glen, reveal Bitter Blossom, and then play Bitter Blossom. We're here to relive the trauma of old Standard, very dominated Standard, and Block Constructed. The deck was legal in both formats. Rhinoceroses, okay. Well, Spellstutter Sprite is good against Rhinoceroses. Fatal Push, also pretty good against Rhinoceroses. I'm just going to pass here. Opponent's on the mull to 5. If they send a can of Rhinos here, I can Spellstutter it. And because of Bitter Blossom, I don't actually have to do anything ever. Like a lot of the times, Rhinos ends up in the spot where it's like, they get you if you try to do anything because they just hold up the Violent Outburst. But the strength of Bitter Blossom is you just always get something every turn. You don't even have to try that hard. That land came into play tapped, so we're not getting outbursted. Land number 4. Yeah, I'm not going to tap out for Scion of Una, because now, once I untap, I have 2 hard counters in my hand. Spellstutter Sprite is good for 5 at this point, and Counterspell is actual Counterspell. It's really hard to be a tempo or control deck versus an active Bitter Blossom, that's for sure. They are approaching the point where they could Mystical Dispute. That card is live here. Sometimes these decks play a Murktide or 2. Tashana's Tidebinder is a card in the decks. Lorien Revealed. How about Spellstutter Sprite for 5? It's disgusting. Bam! That was gnarly. And don't even have to worry about Fury cleaning my stuff up anymore. And the Fury ban was very good for Bitter Blossom gamers. Can't argue with that. And I think now if I slam Scion of Una, it will be really hard to lose, even if they do resolve their can of Rhinos, because my things are big and indestructible. Well, destructible, but not targetable. So how are you going to destruct them? What's the plan for that? I'm not even going to try to counter this can of Rhinos, because opponent is dead in the air, and I have a counter spell. And they can try to fire Scion of Una, I guess. That's really the whole play here. Fire, Dead Gone, etc. I'm going to start with a Preordain and see if I can find more protection before they start interacting. Bottom both of these. Okay, Counterspell and Drown in the Lock, which means I cannot tap my other Preordain if I want to have both Counterspells up. Dead, Counterspell, Force of Negation, resolves, Drown in the Lock. With 1 card left in their hand and me at 15 life, I think I win this game even if they win this counter war. Cool. All right. I mean, they mulled to 5, so that helped. But we are also pretty well set up for matchups like this one. Minor Misstep counters these jerks as well. We've seen this plan before. I don't think Kaito is where I want to be. Vendilion Clique doesn't really help here. Subtlety does very little for the matchup. It counters like their subtleties. Or endurance, I guess, but I got other answers to that. Dress Down has almost no text in the matchup. Engineered Explosives wipes out Rhinos. If I have to work through a fair can of Rhinos, Shouldered Edict is fine, but it sucks if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, which is not let them have the Rhinos or make them irrelevant when they arrive. Yeah, I think I'm gonna run it like this. And maybe the Thoughtseize is good enough because they're going to have Mystical Disputes and Force Negations and stuff, and just poking a hole is good. Mistbind Clique's pretty medium. Alright, Mistbind Clique can become Thoughtseize, and I'll do it like this. I will keep this hand. It's got the Bitter Blossom again, which it was the thing that let me just hold up interaction forever last game. This is another Blood Moon deck. Gotta watch out for that. Secluded Glen, show you Sleep Curse Fairy, play Sleep Curse Fairy. And I hope they do fight over this, because then they're not fighting over Spell Stutter. Or it's less that they have to fight over Spell Stutter with. Okay, we're in there. Clock's ticking. You're on 10-turn notice. Yeah, them being on the play is tough, because they can make their Rhino Can on the turn where I play Bitter Blossom. But I have now 3 removal spells. I was going to say 2 removal spells, but now it's 3. So I'm actually just going to send it on the Bitter Blossom and bet against the Can of Rhinos. Cycling Lorien revealed. Okay. Basic Island. Yeah, if I just get Blood Moon here, I'm in trouble. Oh, if they let me untap, that's so good. All right, well, they had 3 mana and didn't send it. That's exciting for me. And even if you have Violent Outburst, sometimes it's right to main phase it. Looks like they just don't have it at all, though. What's going on over there? Shardless Agent coming through, and now, which must have been their draw for their turn, or why wasn't it cast last turn? Or they were just waiting for Mystical Dispute Protection. That's probably what's actually going on. They're going to dispute my Spell Stutter, and then I Fatal Push both Rhinos. All right, yeah, they were just waiting for some protection. That makes sense. Okay, I get a fairy. I get an island. Push your Rhino. Push your Rhino. And I'm actually gonna... I am gonna attack. One of the rules about Bitter Blossom is if you're blocking, you're losing. So I'm just gonna attack. They have a Mutavault they could fire up here and attack for 4, but then I'm cracking back for 5. I'm not gonna block Shardless Agent. Okay, they're gonna Violent Outburst in combat, so this is 3 damage. Cool. Getting value off of the actual text of that card. The second round of Rhinos might get me here if I don't draw a Engineered Explosives right quick. Another Bitter Blossom. That's not what I wanted. I'm going to Snapcaster Fatal Push right now in my main phase before they get to untap and do stuff. And now I can attack with 2 fairies, and I actually have blocks that clear the board here. Sorry, Sleep Curse Fairy. You waited so long just to get eaten by a Rhino. And I'm just making all the most direct blocks. If they have any trick, they're going to get me, but I don't have a lot of room to breathe here. Yeah, fire is a pretty big blowout. I take 1 damage here. I have Dismember for this last Rhino. And they Besaged my Otawara. My Bitter Blossom. Kind of a favor, actually. I was a little worried about that. All right, Secluded Glen, reveal Bitter Blossom. Got him. And then Dismember the Rhino, paying the full price, drop a new Bitter Blossom, and I will hold back these fairies to try to stabilize. I know I said if you're blocking, you're losing, but, like, I am losing, so what are we bluffing? The animated Mutavault, I'm going to block the Mutavault here, not the Shardless Agent. I think taking a land out from under them is relevant. More relevant than a 2/2. Oh, they had another dead gone. Yeah, powerful. All right. Got me. And Cycling Lorien revealed they got 1 card left in their hand. I have some big draws. Did I leave in a Mistbind Clique? Because that would actually be sick here. I have 1 still in the deck. Mistbind Clique? Uh-oh. Oh, I think we've lost this one. Mutavault's Awake. Okay, if I go to 4 this turn, I go to 3, then I can trade with one of them, go to 1. I think I am just in desperate to protect my life total mode. Force field one of these creatures. Oof. Alright, well, very glad I blocked. Let's look at all these things they've revealed. Flame of Enor. Blood Moon confirmed in the deck. Subtlety. At least I have the counterspell for this. I mean, Mistbind Clique's still pretty good here. Mistbind. Hold it up. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Big Lorien revealed. I can kill Mutavault this turn, chump block Shardless Agent, and then Sign of Una stabilizes on the following turn. Then I gotta remove my Bitter Blossom somehow. Okay, I mean, we're officially in the danger zone. I'm gonna block Shardless Agent. Fatal Push Mutavault, hope they have nothing. 2-card hand is empty. Okay. No, don't do stuff. All right, Suspended of Footfalls. That's all of them, right? Yeah, that's 4. There's no more Footfalls coming. I am stable on the board here, but I am at 3 life and dead to my Bitter Blossom very quickly. I need Mistbind Clique to win this game. A Scion of Una gives me a 2/2 block. All right, I get 2 more draw steps this game. Their hand would have to be Removal Spell plus Mystical Dispute to break this up. Yeah, their deck does have Fire Ice in it, so I could also just die to any Fire Ice they cast. Mistbind Clique. Mistbind Clique. Oboro, that's not helpful. Okay, pass the turn. Mistbind Clique. Mistbind Clique. Okay, very likely dead to my own shit here. I need to find a Mistbind to take my Bitter Blossom out of play. Oh, did they draw a Burn Spell? They're not even going to let me live the dream here. All right, cool. I'm just dead to that. All right. Draw a card. It wasn't there. You wasted your Fire Ice. I didn't have you anyway. Okay. I mean, Mistbind Clique, I don't want to be results-oriented, but would have been very good at basically every turn of that game. Sleep Cursed Fairy was nice to have in play. It did at least like cause a forced interaction in combat. Do I actually believe Mistbind Clique is better than Thoughtseize, or is there another card I could cut here? Thoughtseize can see the Blood Moon before I have to counter it. Dismember kind of sucks. I don't want to be answering Rhinos in that way. Okay. I'm gonna try it like this. Obviously, that comes with some risk, because like sometimes they're gonna get a can of Rhinos through on you, but I'm on the play this time, which means I'm better suited to get up under it. Sweet. I will keep my hand. Minor Misstep, sweet. Spell Stutter, sweet. I can Misstep and Spell Stutter on the turn they can first present Rhinos. JK, they have Gemstone Cavern. Alright, I mean, that makes it a little more difficult. They pitched a Footfalls to the Cavern, so they only have 3 of those left in the deck, which is relevant because they did use all 4 last game. I guess I have to shock in this Watery Grave. Kind of price of doing business here. Yeah, that Gemstone Caverns was really good. I hope they ice one of my lands and then think the coast is clear. Okay, they are passing here. Land go. Alright, we've reached the turn 3 stability that I was talking about, though my opponent has the same amount of mana as me, so it's not quite as stable as I would have hoped. But I do have 2 layers here. Endurance. I'm not really ready for this card. I hate this so much. Well, I'm going to counter it because I can't really beat it. But then the Rhinos are going to kill me. If this Mutavault was an island, I'd feel so much better right now. Yeah, here it comes, just right in the main. This was the correct time to do this, and I am going to lose to it if I don't draw Engineered Explosives right now. Darkslick Shores, Preordain. There's Mistbind Clique. You wise guy. I needed you last game, not now. And I missed on the Engineered Explosives. I could still find it next turn, but yeah, maybe I just need to take my beats from Endurance, but this game playing, my opponent having better flashcards than me at all the spots where I needed a good flashcard because of the Gemstone Cavern just stealing the play like that. That was insane. Completely flipped it on me. Lorien revealed, oh my goodness. Well, yeah, I mean, that resolves. I'm going to cast a Spell Stutter just to try to get anything going here. Explosives. Minor Misstep. Deck is teasing me. I have to Preordain here just to keep trying to look for explosives. It is my only out at this point. Bottom Otawara, top Fatal Push. Take some of this pressure off. And I'm not blocking, so might as well attack. There's red in the pool. We see another can of Rhinos coming. Oh, Blood Moon, that's so much worse. Alright, I mean, Engineered Explosives is still my out here. Oboro. Alright, they got me. GG's, yep. Completely punked by Gemstone Cavern stealing the play. Okay, so this deck had a lot of fun, tricky little interactions with it. I do enjoy this type of Magic. I don't know that Modern is the environment to play this type of Magic, especially when, as we saw in our matchup versus Blue-Red Murktide, that you can play this type of Magic with Ragavan in your deck instead of Sleep Cursed Fairy, if you like this sort of Magic. But if you like playing Spell Stutter Sprite, this deck was pretty solid. Kaito Dancing Shadow was really cool. I actually really like hybridizing this with ninjas, having like 1 or 2 Fallen Shinobi at the top end, and like maybe some of the Ninja the Deep Hours, or the new one that I forget the name of, that Ninjas for One, it's a 2/1 from New Kamigawa. Like there's some cool stuff you could do with ninjas, picking up spell starter sprites, putting them back in. And the deck is less fairy centric. Like you don't play Scion of Una or Mistbind Clique or anything, but you do still play Bitter Blossom and Spell Stutter. That's just a different deck, but I have enjoyed those play patterns before in Modern. Also with some more tuning, like obviously minor missteps, Force and Negation, Engineered Explosives, like we have a lot of game against the Cascade deck, but if you want to just play like 3 Engineered Explosives and always sweep up the first can, even if it gets through your interaction and then the pressure's off, like you could build your deck in that way if you wanted to, and that's probably pretty potent. This deck needs to be able to kill a Murktide better than it does, though. +1 Doomblade somewhere, either the sideboard or replace one of the dismembers. And I think that's immediately an upgrade. Well, folks, we made it to the end. My voice mostly held out. I'm going to go drink some warm tea. Thank you all for sticking with me. Troy, thanks for inviting me to play Fairies. Always happy to do it. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.